friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to do my May wrap up. I did talk about in the beginning of the year how I was going to do a combination wrap up. So this will be the books that I read in May, it will be the books that I am hauling in May, and it will also be my May favorites. As with every wrap up, I will have links to the timestamps in the description box. So if you're not interested in what I read and you just want to see the books that I got, or if you're not interested in the books that I got or what I read and you just want to see my favorites, all the timestamps are in the description box for you. I also want to say sorry for not having a 1 second everyday clip for you this month. That's probably one of my favorite things that I have done in videos, because you kind of get little glimpses into what I did within the month. So it's kind of wrapping up the things that I did within the month, and those are kind of for myself, but I think they're kind of cool as well to share with you guys. This month was super crazy. You probably noticed that I didn't upload at all last week. I didn't upload on Wednesday or Saturday, and that's just because I've been so busy, and because I've been so busy with other things, my mind has kind of been divided and I haven't been as like upbeat and happy and creative. So I just decided to forgo making videos and like putting on a front. I just figured a time off, and then when I'm ready to return, you guys will be there for me like you always have been. So sorry for there not being the little intro, the fun little 1 second everyday intro. I'm so busy. May was report cards. We got our teacher contracts for next year. That also meant some negotiations. Memorial Day weekend, I had a yard sale. There was lots and lots and lots of rain here. So a lot of days were just like gloomy, and it was just like, as you will remember from my May TBR, which I don't usually do TBRs, but I said that I was only going to read male authors. And the books that I chose, we'll go ahead and just jump into those. Books this month. I started with The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, and this is one of those books that I hear referenced a lot, like when you go out to like a dinner party or something, or lots of things like, oh, the Screw Tape Letters, or you know, things like that. So I saw this beautiful edition, deckled pages, French flaps, paperback, nice floppy paperback with a gorgeous cover. And I was like, it's about time that I got this. I remember when I got it, it was like pouring down rain. But now with Male Author May, it gave me like the perfect opportunity to read it. I read it, and it was much, much, much different than I thought it was going to be. Even the basic premise that I've heard people talk about, I don't see the correlation. I don't know if those people have actually read it or you know what they're going off of. But this is basically an uncle writing to his nephew or his like protege, Wormwood, and telling him how to set up society in a way, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like a satire. It has a lot of religious references to it. A lot of satanic, like these are, you know, Satan's minions that are helping, you know, people fail and stuff like that. I don't even know. A sly and ironic portrayal of human life. He's a highly placed assistant to Our Father Below. So the guy that's writing these, highly placed from the, you know, assistant, and I don't know, it's just, it's very weird. So I didn't like it, but I don't think I got it. I don't really get satire. I've read a couple of other satires and I just don't get it. So I left this unrated. If you like satires or you like classics, literary fiction type things, pick this up. It's a quick read nonetheless. I did listen to this one on audio, and to be completely honest, I don't think I would have gotten through it if it wasn't for the audiobook. Okay, the second book that I read, and it honestly took me the longest. I think this book took me like 3 weeks to read, and that is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. It's the third and final book in the Miss Peregrine's trilogy. I think I rated this 2 stars, if not 2, then 3, but I really think I rated it 2 stars. I really loved Miss Peregrine's. I loved that book. I thought it was magical and mystical, and I loved the characters and Jacob and him, you know, going to Miss Peregrine's home and all of that and learning about all the peculiar children. The second book I thought was a lot slower, and I really didn't like enjoy the plot as much. This one was completely like slow. Like, I think this book could have been like half of the length that it was. It was 400 and some pages. I didn't really think it was necessarily a fulfilling conclusion for me, what I had envisioned for the trilogy. The author definitely took a very interesting route with this trilogy. Was it satisfying? No, not really, because I just thought it was like really drawn out. I like certain aspects of it, but of course I can't talk about those because it's the third book in the trilogy. So there were some things that like worked, but a lot more did not work for me. Specifically, the pacing, adding in so many characters, adding in so many oddball twists, I guess you'll call them. Things that just totally didn't make sense. So like I said, 2 or 3 stars on this one, but I'm glad to be done with the trilogy. The only one that I really liked out of the trilogy was the first book. So I wish that the first book would have wrapped up better so you could only read the first book, but it kind of does have a little like thing that happens at the end that you kind of want to continue to see what happens. And then the second book you really don't get there, and then the third book you still don't really get there until like the end. So it just kind of drug on. And then the third and final book that I completed was Beautiful You by Chuck Palahniuk. I got this at the thrift store for $1.50, $1.49. I still haven't gotten the sticker off. But anyway, I have tried to read one of Chuck Palahniuk's books before. I believe it was called Haunted, and I really liked the premise of the story, but I couldn't get into the writing. This one, on the other hand, again, great premise, but surprisingly, I was able to get into this story a lot easier than I was his previous work that I tried. This one follows this, middle-aged woman who works at this law firm, and she's trying to, pass the bar and all of this. And she runs across this multi-billionaire, Linus Maxwell, and he asks her out on a date, and then she kind of becomes his sex slave in a way, and he's designing these sex toys, and every 139 days or 136, I think it's 139 days, he like dates a new person, and she's just like ready to be done with him, but it does last 139 days. But she kind of like has feelings for him, but it's just kind of like craziness at the same time. I read this review on Goodreads. I'm going to link it down below because I don't think a lot of you will actually like this, but I really did. I rated it 4 stars. It was my favorite read of the month. And it was hard to give it 4 stars because it's like you really have to think about this book, and you have to think about this author and what he's trying to say. And in most books that I read, or readers read, we're trying to relate to characters. We're trying to escape, but we're trying to find someone relatable, like I get you. And these characters are not that. These characters are not relatable whatsoever. They're not even likable. They make terrible decisions. They do terrible things, and you just kind of want to shake them a little bit. What are you doing? So you're not really rooting for these characters. You're not really I guess you are kind of rooting for the one Penny. You are rooting for Penny a little bit, but she's still so damn unlikable. But I'm going to link to that article, or not, it's not an article, it's a Goodreads review that someone wrote. And I just read that and I was like, wow, that's like a great way to explain my thoughts and feelings about this book. These two books, I did the thing where I listened to the audio and I read along with the audiobook. And then this one was not available on audiobook, and I just like read it anyway, and it still went like so quickly. There's definitely some things in here that made me uncomfortable, made me think, but like I said, it was kind of twisted. You're not supposed to like the characters, but it's fast-paced and it's interesting. Those are the only books that I read this month. I have started another one, but if you're really interested to see what I am currently reading, definitely check me out on Goodreads. The link to my Goodreads is in the description box of all of my videos. I'm not going to really say that Male Author May was a success because I only read 3 books and I only really liked one of them, and I'm not technically really loving the book that I'm reading right now. But hey, at least I added some more male authors to my read list for the year. Since the stack of books that I'm hauling this month just fell off the couch, these are in no particular order, so let's just jump right into the haul portion. Okay, so 2 books that I bought this month, I'm going to show them at the same time because they're both the same edition of they're different books, but the same like special edition. And these are the classics reimagined editions of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and The Wizard of Oz. I got these on Amazon, but I didn't order them directly through Amazon. I ordered them through like another bookstore. Like one was in Maryland and I think like one was in New Jersey or something like that. But I got these for like a super steal. And if you're ever wondering like about prices of books and stuff like that, like check me out on Instagram because I'm opening my bookish mail on my Instagram stories and I'll like show the prices and stuff like that. But the end papers in this is gorgeous, and the back end papers are actually different. This is illustrated by Sophia Martznek, and I just love her style of, you know, illustration. Let me see something I could show you that's really cool. But there's tons of full page illustrations. There's little mini illustrations within it. But I just think this is going to be a great way to, you know, read the classic stories of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So absolutely love this edition. The bright like lime green yellow pages. So I got that one, and then I also got this one. Check out the sides on that. Love it. It's like a gold and geometric. This is a completely different illustrator. I'm not going to even, it's Olympia Zagnoli. I don't know. I have this information on my blog for these books and like where you can purchase them and stuff. So check out my blog. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But this one, like I said, it doesn't have like the beautiful end papers, and the illustrations are very different. They're very bold and very like graphic design-esque. So again, it does have full page illustrations, and then it does have little mini ones. Oh, it even has like the double spread, but it does have little mini ones within. I'm trying to find one like that. Let's see if I can find one like that. I saw one, but then I passed it. Oh, here we go. Okay, you got the little hot air balloon here at the top. But I love these editions so much. Like I said, they're by Rockport Publishing. Yeah, both of them are by Rockport Publishing, and they're the Classics Reimagined Edition. And they sell in the US for $25. And I got both of these. Like, I got this one for under 10 and this one for under 10. So definitely check them out, like on Amazon. And I do have the links, like I said, on my blog, but I just think they're so pretty, and I love that they're illustrated. And since they're like kind of longer books, I just am going to love to have the illustrations to kind of break up the story. And I'm definitely going to be collecting all of these editions because they're so pretty, and every one is by a different illustrator. So I just love that. So I got both of those. Okay, now let's jump into some books that I purchased myself. I got Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. This is the same author that wrote The Girl on the Train. I actually borrowed that from the library and I enjoyed it. It wasn't like my favorite book of all time, but I really did like it. I know a lot of people did not care for it, but I liked it, and so I wanted to get this one. I also picked up, I had to pick up Always and Forever, Laura Jean by Jenny Han. The third book, the surprise third book in the trilogy, in the Laura Jean trilogy. I loved the first two books. I loved that they're contemporary. They have romance elements, but it's also like family and sisterhood and like growing up, like coming into your own, you know, your own spiritual journey. I also picked up, I also picked up, just like on a whim. Now, if you'll ask me, some of the books that started me to become a reader, it was The Babysitter's Club and Sweet Valley High. Those were like the series that like got me through my childhood. But The Babysitter's Club has been redone in graphic novel form by Raina Telgemeier, who also wrote drama, and I have that in graphic novel form as well. And I love that, and I love her like art style. It's very colorful. It lends itself very well to these like middle grade stories. So I got the first edition of The Babysitter's Club, Christie's Great Idea, based on the novel by Anne M. Martin, and I'm really excited to get to it. Like I said, super colorful and fun, and I just think it's going to be like one of those things that I want to pick up and get a little nostalgic about. I actually thought about collecting like all the Babysitter Club books, but I think there's so many of them, you guys. I'm like, where do I have room for that? And am I going to reread them? No. So maybe one day if I have a daughter, maybe then. But in the meantime, I'll probably collect these. Okay, so that is all that I purchased myself, and I only have 3 more books to show you. So I received Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith in my uppercase subscription box this month. I do purchase uppercase myself. I feel like I always have to say it. But this is about someone wins the lottery and, you know, how their life like moves forward or changes because of that. I thought that the uppercase subscription, they included like a little lottery kind of esque card that you could like scratch off. That was a lot of fun. Check out pictures on my Instagram at Lavender Mud. Then in my Once Upon a Book Club book subscription box, I got Between Two Skies by Joanna O'Sullivan, and I do not have any pictures of this on my blog, but on my Instagram, but I do have one on my blog. But this is set during it's set in Louisiana and in a tiny fishing town, and they're talking about Katrina and the destruction comes through, and a fellow refugee, a budding bluesman, a balm for Evelyn's aching heart. It talks about class and politics, exile and belonging, and the pain of being cast out of your home. It's a YA book about that, and I just think that I'm gonna love it. It's so beautiful too, but yeah, I'm really excited about it. They're picking awesome books for their YA subscription, so if you're interested, definitely check them out. I love their concept. Again, you'll be able to check all that stuff out on my blog, but you get gifts that are mentioned in the story, and I do have a coupon code for you, or like a discount code. It's Gwen10. If you decide to sign up, use that code, you'll get 10% off of your order. And then my neighbor, literally right before I was filming this video, came over and let me borrow this book. We had our yard sale this past weekend, and she actually works at Barnes & Noble. She's like a book buyer, she's not like, you know, like a cashier or something. She's like something higher up. But she said that she read this book, and it's a historical fiction book, and it is called The Dressmaker's Dowry by Meredith Yeager. But she was telling me about it, and it's kind of set, it's historical fiction, like I said, but it's set in San Francisco, 1876, and kind of present, and there was like a murder, and I think there's like sisters, and they're trying to like figure out their murder or something like that. That's just what she told me, so not really sure, but she literally like just brought it over here and let me borrow it because I said it sounded interesting, and she picked this for her staff pick at work, and she says she's like gotten like 6 or 7 people to buy it. So anyway, I'm going to read it and see what I think. So those are the books that I actually bought or received in the month of May. Let me know which one I should read first. But now let's go ahead and jump into my favorites, which is always like my favorite part to talk about. That I have alluded to several times is my blog. I have kind of abandoned my blog because the school year has been very busy and I've been doing YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and just, you know, Snapchat and all of that. And I usually tend to lean like one way or another, but I wasn't making a lot of videos last week, and with the rain I wasn't taking a lot of pictures, so I kind of like sat down and looked at my blog and did like a little redesign. It's not like professionally done or it's not perfect or anything like that, but I really do love the redesign. It looks very clean and very modern, and I love the pop of color that I used for my banners. But on there I have a whole new page, and it's dedicated to subscription boxes and the subscription boxes that I have tried. So if you're interested in some of the subscription boxes that I talk about here on my channel, go over to my blog, check that page out, and it will have like some pictures. It has links to the subscription box, like their website, their Twitter, their Instagram, if they have that. It talks about how much it is, what you receive in the subscription box, and also it lists other posts that I have done on that particular subscription box. So definitely go ahead and check that out. It's one of the pages on my blog that I'm the most excited about, but I have done quite a bit of work on it in May. Several posts, several subscription box unboxings. I was a little behind on that, but I did that. And I also have my haul for this month, my book haul, minus the book that my neighbor just came over here literally and just gave me. But all of those books are listed on my May book haul, and they have links where you can buy them on Amazon. So if it sounds like a book that you're interested in, click the link, buy the book, read along with me. So that's definitely been a favorite. The only other one other thing. So the other favorite of mine is that I hit 1K on Instagram, and finally, it's been a long time coming. I finally found a theme that I'm really digging with that as well. So that's kind of like working for me. But I hit 1K and I'm doing a giveaway on Instagram. So if you're interested in like entering that giveaway, the link for that is down in the description box. I link to the photo where I give like the rules and, you know, all of that, all the directions. So follow those directions and you're entered to win. I have the prizes listed as well, so check that out. And now on to like two last things that are like true favorites that like maybe you can go check out. So the first one is I tried my first K-drama, and I tried it on Netflix, and that is Hello My Twenties. And I love this Netflix so much, you guys. It's such a good K-drama, and I'm so excited because they did announce a season 2. So I'm really looking forward to it, but it's so cute. It's so like aesthetically pleasing. It's about this group of girls that live in this like shared house while they go to school, and it's just, the drama ensues, you know what I'm saying? But it's so good. And then the last one is also on Netflix show, and that is Anne with an E on Netflix. So incredibly well done. I just loved it. I love the actress that they got to play Anne. She's like the perfect Anne. And of course this Netflix is based off of Anne of Green Gables. But yeah, I adored it so much. I think there's only like 8 episodes, so it goes by like so quick, but I binged it. It was so good, and yeah, I just want them to keep going with it. So hopefully they'll do like a season 2 of that too, because like they still have room like of story that they can, you know, like expand on. But loved it, loved the acting, like such good young actors and actresses, and I don't know, it was just really well done, and it gave me like all those feelings that made me want to purchase Anne of Green Gables and actually read it, because I've only seen it on VHS when I was like 10 or 11. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you check out the timestamps and The links for the stuff that I can link are down in the description box. And yeah, that's all I really have for you. Let me know how your May was, like what your favorite was, what you read, what you've been up to. I've missed you guys, and I hope to see you again soon. But yeah, I guess I'll see you then. Bye.